Every retirement calculator you have ever plugged your numbers into relies on a quiet, mathematical delusion. It assumes that from the day you step away from work to the day you take your final breath, your spending will follow a perfectly flat, unbroken line. $60,000 in year one, $60,000 in year two, $60,000 in year 25. It is clean, it is mathematically elegant, and it is almost completely detached from biological and economic reality. Real life does not operate on an annualized spreadsheet. It moves in sudden, unpredictable shocks. An emergency roof replacement, a daughter's wedding, an unexpected medical procedure, or a bucket list journey across the world you promised yourself for 3 decades. We plan for straight lines, but we live in lumps, and today, this is Money Explained. The fundamental flaw in modern retirement strategy is not an inability to save. It is a profound misunderstanding of human behavior, time horizons, and market volatility. Traditional financial advice conditions millions of people to obsess over an arbitrary nest egg number, blindly clinging to static withdrawal rules without realizing that their spending will dramatically morph over time. If you're fascinated by how money, psychology, and global power really operate beneath the surface, subscribe to Money Explained, leave a like, and share this with someone who values the truth over appearances. Now, let's look closer. To understand why traditional planning fails, look at how human vitality actually intersects with capital. Financial planners divide retirement into 3 distinct biological chapters: the go-go years, the slow-go years, and the no-go years. In your early 60s to early 70s, you possess both the energy and the freedom to spend. This is when travel is frequent, family milestones occur, and lifestyle costs naturally peak. Then arrive the slow-go years, where energy gradually wanes, long-distance flights lose their appeal, and spending pivots inward toward home modifications, walk-in renovations, and quiet comfort. Finally, the no-go years arrive. Experiential spending collapses, while medical costs and late-stage property maintenance climb. Across decades of behavioral research, retirement expenditure does not form a flat horizon. It traces what economists call a crooked smile, high early on, dipping in the middle, and ticking up late in life. Here's what almost everyone gets wrong about the math. Most people anchor themselves to the famous 4% rule. They calculate their first-year baseline, say $60,000, divide it by a sustainable withdrawal rate, and believe they must accumulate a static $1.3 million portfolio to survive. But this completely ignores episodic spending. Over a 25-year span, periodic lump sum expenses, replacing a vehicle, assisting a child with a home down payment, structural home repairs, or dental surgeries, can easily total upwards of $240,000. On the surface, it looks like success requires adding an extra $240,000 to your starting portfolio on day one. Beneath it, the numbers tell a completely different story. When you model real cash flow against investment compounding, that entire $240,000 burden does not require $240,000 today. A $25,000 window replacement in year 24 has more than 2 decades to compound in the market under an 8% growth model. Funding that entire lifetime of irregular shocks only requires an extra $106,000 at the start. The timing of an expense dictates your survival just as much as its dollar amount. Yet that introduces an even deadlier variable, sequence of returns risk. 2 investors can achieve the exact same average annual market return over 25 years, yet one ends up wealthy while the other goes bankrupt. Why? Because suffering a 25% market crash in year 1 decimates a portfolio that is actively being drawn down, while suffering that exact same crash in year 20 barely affects the outcome. That's where the real damage occurs. Think about what that actually costs you in psychological terms. There's an invisible tragedy playing out among disciplined savers across the globe. Millions of retirees, terrified of outliving their capital, systematically underspend during the healthiest, most capable decade of their lives. They sacrifice once-in-a-lifetime experiences with their partners and children at 65, strictly to ensure their brokerage account holds an extra $50,000 when they are 89. Mathematically, a dollar is always a dollar, but psychologically, a dollar spent at 67 possesses infinitely higher utility than a dollar spent at 89. Money is not merely stored value. It is a decaying voucher for human experience. Leaving behind an oversized estate at 90 does not make you financially victorious if it required starving yourself of living during the only years your body could actually convert that capital into lasting memories. True financial sovereignty is not about hitting a rigid withdrawal number and hoping the market behaves. It is about building a dynamic cash flow architecture that protects your highest utility years while remaining resilient enough to absorb the unpredictable shocks of life. Wealth is not measured by what remains on a spreadsheet when you are gone, but by how courageously you deploy it while you are here. Thanks for watching Moni Explained. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.